murderer. Why Sengar must remain in jail. Delhi High Court's bail sends shockwaves. CBI and family vows to fight back. This is a story of Unnav's fight for justice.
Welcome back. I'm Kuldeep Sengar. You're joining us on NewsX. This is not merely the story of a crime, it's a chilling chronicle of how power and privilege collided with the vulnerability of a minor girl in rural India. How her pursuit of justice forced a nation to confront its deepest faults. We're talking about the Unnav rape case and how its main culprit, Kuldeep Sengar, has been granted bail. On NewsX Explained today, we're going to be speaking about this. Let's begin with who is Kuldeep Singh Sengar. Before the Unnav rape case began, Senger entered politics in the early 1990s with the Indian National Congress, but his political journey didn't stop there. In 2002, he stood for election with the Bahujan Samaj Party. He won from Unnav with about 24% of the vote. It was the first time the BSP had ever won that seat. However, his relationship with the BSP did not last. He was expelled from the party due to alleged anti-party activities. After that, he joined the Samajwadi Party. With the SP, he won the Bangair seat in 2007 with roughly 28% of the vote. And then Bhagwant Nagar in 2012 with around 33%. Politics ran in Sengar's family. In 2015, his wife Sangeeta Singh contested the district panchayat chief election as an independent and won, defeating the Samajwadi Party. After this, the SP began to view Senger as a dissenting force within its own ranks. In 2017, Senger switched to the BJP. He contested the Bangair seat again. This time he won with about 43% of the votes. That seat had never been won by the BJP before. He had now held the seat once under the SP and again under the Bharatiya Janata Party, and had never lost an election in the Unnav region. 4 wins, 3 different party tickets, a record most politicians never achieve. This was how he became a powerful figure, a Bahubali in Uttar Pradesh politics. Sengar's sway in state politics and his nexus with the police and administration cannot be explained by merely tracing his political connections. He was a powerful Thakur leader with a strong feudal hold over panchayat level bodies, who was politically indispensable for leaders looking to win elections in the region. This, combined with the muscle power Senger is believed to exercise to his brothers Atul and Manoj, allowed him not only to resist public outrage and political pressure and exert his influence over people, but then the story changed dramatically. Now here's what actually happened in the Unnav case. In June 2017, a 17-year-old girl in Unnav was allegedly lured to the home of then MLA Senger. She was told she would be helped to find a job. Let's understand key players. The person who brought her there was a neighbor and distant relative named Shashi Singh. According to the survivor, once she reached Sengar's house, the assault began. Shashi Singh remained an outside as a guard, and Senger allegedly raped her. The horror did not end there. According to the survivor, a week later on June 11th, she was abducted again. This time it was by Shashi's son, Shubham, and a group of associates. She said she was held captive for more than a week. During this time, she was gang raped repeatedly. She also alleged she was essentially sold to a man named Brajesh Yadav for 60,000 rupees. After these incidents, the family went to the police, but for nearly a year, they ran into a wall of silence. Local police reportedly refused to register an FIR against Senger, the influential political leader. Instead, they registered FIRs against the alleged abductors, with no mention of Senger's name. During this period, the family also faced intimidation and threats. That prolonged silence and lack of action became one of the most shocking aspects of the case. Injustice was not just alleged, it was visible. Then came April 2018, when the situation escalated. On April 3rd, 2018, the survivor's father was involved in an altercation. He was reportedly beaten by Sengar's brother Atul Singh and several others. Instead of arresting those who allegedly attacked him, the police arrested the father. He was booked under the Arms Act. His condition in judicial custody got worse very quickly. On April 9, 2018, he died in jail. A post-mortem later revealed 14 significant injuries on his body. A trial court ultimately found he had been beaten to death while in custody. The very next day, but before the father's death on April 8, 2018, the survivor attempted something that shook the nation. She stood outside the residence of the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh in Lucknow and tried to set herself on fire. She did this to protect the lack of justice. Images and footage from that moment were widely shared across media platforms. The country could not look away. This self-immolation attempt was a turning point. It finally forced the government to act. The case was transferred to the Central Bureau of Investigation on April 13, 2018. The CBI arrested Kuldeep Sengar, but the dangers continued even after Senger was in jail. On July 28, 2019, a vehicle carrying the survivor, a lawyer and two of her aunts was struck by a speeding truck near Raebareli. The truck's number plate had been blackened, a detail that raised alarm and suspicion. Both aunts were killed. The survivor and a lawyer were critically injured and rushed to the hospital. In December 2019, a Delhi court convicted Kuldeep Sengar for raping a minor. The court concluded that the evidence was strong and the assault had indeed taken place. A few days later, on December 20, 2019, he was sentenced to life imprisonment and fined 25 lakh rupees. Even after conviction, however, the case continued to move through the courts. Senger sought court relief on multiple occasions. In January 2023, the Delhi High Court granted him 2 weeks interim bail so he could attend his daughter's wedding. The court set specific dates for surrender, taking into account conditions and concerns raised by the survivor and her family. In December 2024, he secured medical bail for evaluation at AIIMS. This was followed by short releases in January and February 2025 for cataract surgery. But now the worst has come. A bail that has exposed the fault lines in the Indian justice system. On December 23, 2025, the Delhi High Court suspended Sengar's life sentence and granted him bail pending the outcome of his appeal against conviction. The order was passed by a bench of Justices Subramania Prasad and Harish Vedinathan Shankar. Senger was directed to furnish a personal bond of 15 lakh rupees along with 3 sureties of the same amount. The outrage over the suspension of sentence granted to Kuldeep Sengar has brought the focus to a very technical aspect of criminal law. The fact that elected representatives such as MPs and MLAs, despite the fact that they have a lot of power and influence, are not counted within the definition of public servant. On your screens, you can see the judgment produced by the Delhi High Court. As criminal laws, particularly special laws relating to rape or other criminal offences, put the accountability of public servants on a higher pedestal. Criminal acts alone done by a public servant often carry stricter punishments. Under POCSO, for rape of a child by an ordinary person, the minimum punishment is 10 years in jail, a maximum of life imprisonment. But for a person in an authority or a public servant, the minimum punishment is 20 years in jail. The Delhi High Court judgment in the Kuldeep Sengar case has given relief to the expelled BJP legislator on this technical ground, whereas a sitting MLA could not be considered a public servant as defined under the IPC and POCSO. It relies on the 1984 A.R. Antule judgment of the Supreme Court, which held that elected officials are not within the definition of public servant under criminal law. What is the legal definition then of public servant, and why are MPs, MLAs immune? Well, within hours of the High Court order, the survivor, her mother, and activists including Yogita Bayana staged a demonstration at India Gate in New Delhi. They voiced shock, outrage and despair at the court's decision, arguing it undermined justice for survivors. Security forces, including CRPF personnel, removed the survivor and her mother from the protest site, leading to public criticism of the handling of peaceful protests by authorities. Since December 24th, women's groups, activists and supporters have gathered outside the High Court, holding placards and chanting slogans such as "Balatkariyon ko Sarakshan dena band karo." Now, the Central Bureau of Investigation has filed a special leave petition in the Supreme Court challenging the Delhi High Court order. The core of the CBI's argument is that the High Court erred in law in granting bail and suspending Sengar's life sentence while his appeal is pending. The agency contends that the Delhi High Court's decision is contrary to law and perverse for reducing the legal impact of the earlier conviction. CBI also says that the High Court incorrectly interpreted the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act, especially the question about whether an MLA qualifies as a public servant. The survivor of the Unnao case has endured nearly a decade of unimaginable trauma. She's faced threats, the loss of her father, the death of her aunts, and constant legal battles against a powerful politician. Yet despite everything, she continues to fight for justice, showing remarkable courage as well as resilience. Before ending, let's listen into what she said during an exclusive interview with NewsX.
देश की हर बेटी का इस जजमेंट से न्याय भरोसा उठ गया
जी
कि रेप होगा, 6 साल बाद दरिंदगा बाहर आ जाएगा। वो किस टाइम हादसा कर दे कुछ पता नहीं है। मेरे महाराज जी का कहना है कि हम देश की बेटी की सुरक्षा करेंगे, यमराज उसका इंतजार करेंगे, कोई आंख उठा के देखेगा। अगर मेरे महाराज जी 2017 में अगर ऐसा कर देते तो कि उनकी बेटी को न्याय मिल जाता। मैं भी उनकी बेटी हूँ। अगर मुझे महाराज जी बता दे आप मेरी बेटी नहीं हो, देश की बेटी नहीं हो, तो मैं एक्सेप्ट कर लूंगी, मान जाऊंगी कि ठीक महाराज जी।
Extortionist, rapist, murderer. Why Sengar must remain in jail. Delhi High Court's bail sends shockwaves. CBI and family vows to fight back. This is a story of Unnav's fight for justice.